Started. So welcome to CoachArt. Um, Here we go. So today's goals are to um, share a CoachArt story. So learn how CoachArt came about and what was the whole idea behind CoachArt. Describe a CoachArt program. So like I said, know what are the services, the different types of services that we provide for your children. And also give you the expectations for CoachArt families and CoachArt staff. So that way you know what we expect from you and what you should expect from us. So now the first thing, our mission. So CoachArt creates a transformative arts and athletics community for families impacted by childhood chronic illness. Our history, it was founded in LA by Xander Lurie and Leah Brenthal in 2001, and it expanded in 2012 to the Bay Area. So now CoachArt serves around 1,400 students, more or less, both combined in LA and San Francisco. And just a quick little story behind how CoachArt was created. So Xander, his father was a pediatrician, and he was so involved in the kids' just extracurricular activities outside of the hospital, and he saw the need of things or programs outside of the hospital for these kids that go in and out. And so he was an advocate for that. And so unfortunately, he passed away from cancer, and his son, Xander, just wanted to bring to life his vision. And it's called CoachArt because his dad's name was Arthur. So I know there's a little bit of a mix up there because you think it's coach because of sports and art because of arts, but it's actually because Arthur was the name of Xander's father, and it's a short name for him, so it's Coach Art. So now, why CoachArt? Why is this a good program for your children? So what we like to do, we like for students to learn new skills. We like to have students have a higher self-esteem, to increase the independence and self-efficacy, to experience a feeling of success just by learning a skill and feeling motivated to do more, and socialize with peers and caring adults in a tough time, and exposure to career paths and artistic and athletic fields. So some of these activities that they do, sometimes some of our students want to follow a career path. And some kids, they just learn new skills and they just want to try something else, which is completely fine. So our student population, in order for someone to qualify, they have to be between the ages of 5 and 18 years old. Our definition of chronic physical illness is one that affects the physical part of the body. It requires 3 months or more of treatment, and may or may not be terminal, and it's not solely developmental or cognitive. So we understand that some diagnoses do affect the brain of the child, but what this means is that students don't qualify if they have autism or Down syndrome or things solely just with cognitive or development issues. So the reason that is because we are not trained, or our volunteers are not trained to work with someone at that capacity, and so it's not fair for the students or the volunteers to be in that situation where they don't know what to do. So in order for a volunteer or coach to qualify as well, we ask that they're passionate in sharing skill and just positively impact young people's lives. So a volunteer needs to be 18 years or older, and a CoachArt student must be 19 years old to become a volunteer. So if a CoachArt student wants to give back after they turn 19, they're more than welcome to stay in a CoachArt, but this time they'll be volunteering. So that's a good way to continue with us. They need to complete and submit an application. They have to pass a background check and participate in a volunteer training or webinar. And then they have to commit to providing a minimum of 10 hours of service per year. So that's just a little bit about what we want from our coaches or volunteers. So now let's get into the deep things that we do here. So our CoachArt programs, we have, as you see, 5 different types of programs, but there's 3 of them that are our main ones, or our main core programs. And I'm going to talk about each one of them to see if there's anything that your child might want to do. If they want to do all 3, if they want to do 1, that's perfectly fine. It all depends on you and on the child and what they want to do. So in-home lessons, this is one of our main programs. So these are basically one-on-one lessons. So a volunteer goes to your home and provides lessons to not only one child, but it also can be the siblings if you think that's manageable. If you think that your children might get along and they wouldn't have a problem being together in the lessons, that is totally fine. Or if they have different interests, we can also find a volunteer for the separate, or find a volunteer separately for the other child. So they're at your home. If not, they're at a public park, depending on what the lessons are. If it's a sport, it most likely will try to find a park near you where you can meet with a volunteer. And it's 8 weeks, 1 hour, once a week. So we do require the parents or an adult 18 years and older to be around the area when the students are taking the lessons. So this doesn't mean that you have to be next to them, you have to be in the area, just for the safety of the student and the safety of the volunteer. And here's a little map of the 382 volunteers that we have. Not all of them are active. A lot of them go to school out of town and then they come back in the summer. Some of them are on a break because of work. So depending on their situation, some volunteers are very active and some volunteers not so much, I mean, as of now. Another thing that we do are clubs. So clubs typically means group lessons with a volunteer or a staff. It's at a community location. It can range from 4 to 8 weeks, once a week, from 1 to an hour and a half, just because we like to expand more of the time because you guys are traveling to these areas, and so we just want to make the best out of it and just give you more time with the lesson. So these community locations can be anywhere from the Valley to the south of LA and east of LA. And so typically these clubs are created for the sports, because some of the sports are easier when you do it in a group, but we've expanded a little bit more and done more of the arts. So we've had guitar club, we've had a cartooning club, and we've also done like knitting clubs. So we're trying to expand that. Some of the clubs are here in our office, some clubs are in different parks around the area, and other clubs are sponsored by some of our corporate partners like Disney Interactive, and it's at their location. So depending on what comes to us, or depending on what we plan, we will invite you to these clubs or these lessons, and then you decide whether you want to travel or not. If it's easier for you on the weekend, because they're typically on the weekend. There's some that are during the week, but most of these sports clubs are on the weekend. So yeah, so this is another option for you if it's easier, and if you're willing to travel, you're more than welcome to participate. And finally, another core program is our program partner scholarships. So these are people in the community or established partners or facilities that have their own schedules, they have their own curriculum, they have their own instructors. And so what they allow us to do, they allow us to invite some of our CoachArt students to participate. So we get scholarships from them. And so we don't, some program partners don't give us that many. They give us at least like 2, but some program partners give us as many as 50 scholarships. It all depends on where it is. So as you can see around on the slide, you'll see the different program partners that provide scholarships for our students. So this is a neat program, or a neat type of service that you can just go. The only thing is that it's not CoachArt exclusive, so other kids from the community will be attending. And sometimes, you know, it just, the instructors might not be aware of your child's, if they have a limitation, unless we tell them. So we tell them personally, but yeah, I just think it's a neat program because that's what they're what they're good at, and that's what they do as a program. So this is another neat service that we do provide. So it can range from music to golf to art and dance. So this is another service that we provide, and it can be either group or one-on-one. And like I said, it all depends on the schedule of the program partner. It's not like we have control over that, but usually these partners, their schedules range from or they typically, it's a seasonal calendar. So they have fall classes, summer classes, winter classes. So so just keep an eye out when we let you know that they're enrolling, and we can enroll your student. So you don't really communicate with them. We communicate for you, and they save us some spots for your children once we let them know that they're interested in one of the classes. So yeah, so that's the way that this works with other organizations or other community partners that we have a relationship with. And so just so you can have a look of, or an idea of how many partners we have, and just like the volunteers, not every location or every program partner is active. Some of them are not. But I mean, as a parent, I know a lot of you do your own research and try to get things for your children. If you have an idea, or if you know of someone that, or a location or a partner that you think that we can begin a relationship with, and we can provide scholarships, then let us know. You're more than welcome to do your own outreach. So that is great when parents do that with us, and then hopefully we can do something about that, and we can just start a new relationship, and just increase our partners. And so the first 3 that I mentioned, like I said, is our core programs. These other 2 that I'm going to be explaining, they're not our core programs, and we do it once in a while. But one of them is our one-day group lessons. So these are basically group lessons with our corporate partners. We get, let's say, a call from Google, and they want to do a soccer tournament for the kids. Then we go ahead and partner up with them for one day. They want to do a soccer tournament, and we invite all the CoachArt students that we think will benefit from this event. And you just go to the community location, and it's a one-day thing. So if you see the pictures, one of them was with Google. We did a soccer tournament. Another one was with the Natural History Museum. We did puppet making with the Natural History Museum, and they allowed us to go into the exhibits, which is great. And then another one was with Lucky Brand. They came and did like an empowerment workshop for the kids in about fashion, and just they allowed them to do like a runway walk. And then it was really neat because they brought a bunch of clothes where the kids got to dress up and just do the little catwalk. So that was really neat. So those are the type of unique opportunities that we seek for the students, and hope that they can get something out of it. So they're not as many. We don't do as many, but it is another thing that we do. And then our special events. So these are typically when people just want to give us tickets, when they want us to, donate. They want us to invite families to different events. So let's say we do get a lot of tickets for the Dodger games. We've gotten tickets for the Disney Music Awards or the Nickelodeon um, Music Awards. We've also gotten tickets to the Galaxy games. So things like that, like just tickets that are donated from someone or a company. We've also had like the Nutcracker Ballet tickets. So it's a really neat opportunity for the family to come together and just experience something, together with the family. And typically it's only for immediate family members unless we tell you otherwise. Just because we do want to give an opportunity to other families. I know there's some families who are really big and some families are really small, but we want to make sure that everyone from the immediate family gets to go together. And like I said, unless we tell you otherwise that you can invite a cousin or an aunt or something like that, then most likely it's just for immediate family only. So, and it's a community venue. Obviously, like the Dodger game would be at the Dodger Stadium, Galaxy game would be at the StubHub, so on and so forth. So these are also very limited, but they do happen occasionally. And then Coachart has their own exclusive events. So we have what we call the All-Star Games in the summer. This year we'll be doing a 5K instead of these All-Star Games. So basically the same thing in the sense that we get all the kids together during the summer. This year we're going to do a 5K and a kiddie run. So the kids will have a shorter racetrack to run into, and then everyone else you can walk or run together. And then after that we have like some carnival games for the family. So this is an opportunity for the families to get together and just enjoy a day of Coachart with some sport related activity. And then we also have the art showcase, which is in the winter, and this is also a really neat event because the students who've created art or have done art lessons with us throughout the year, or if you just want to have your child draw, paint something and want to donate it to Coachart, you're more than welcome to do that. And we exhibit all of this art in one of the, it all depends where we do it, but typically it's an art gallery. So the students or the families come together, we display their art as if they were real artists, and it's a really neat opportunity for them to just express themselves and just show their talent. And so you come together, it's like a holiday theme because it is in the winter, and then we just celebrate the art that the kids have done. So this is also a really neat event for the families, and we just enjoy having the families come together on these two big events that are Coachart exclusives events. And then we bring people like donors, or we bring board members who also want to see the work that the kids have done, and they want to just meet the kids and just see what they're all about. So these are the two Coachart exclusive events that we have throughout the year. And so now, how do you sign up for Coachart lessons? So how do we do that? How is it that we communicate with you in order to invite you to, any type of activity that we have here? So one of them would be our family monthly newsletter. So every month, we have a newsletter that we send out through email. So we do a club highlight if we have one. We have a map where we give you all the volunteers around your area, and if you want, or you see someone that's near you and you think that they'll be a good fit for an in-home lesson, then you're more than welcome to share that with us and let us know that you're interested in having that volunteer come to your home. And also, we also give you all the things that are coming up for the month. So not only if we have our program partner enrollment time, we also have like the different types of clubs, the different types of events that we're going to have throughout that month. So all you have to do, if you see in the middle where it says sign up for an in-home lesson, every section has that button, and all you have to do is click on the button, and then you have to fill out a form that's going to pop up. So simple as that. You just follow the form, fill it out, and then we receive the information. Another thing that we do, we send out what we call like these flyers. We call them Canvas. It's just the name of the program that we use. But we basically create this flyer if we're doing targeted recruitment, and we just let you know that we have a cooking camp, we have a dance club coming up, we have a teen acting club coming up, and then we have, I don't know, every type of club that you can think of that we're having. We go ahead and try to send you a flyer just letting you know, hey, this is what's happening in your area. Let me know if you want to sign up. Or I also like to do these things where if I don't see that there's a lot of people signing up, I'll send it to your phone through text. I'll text you the image of this canvas so that you're aware, because I know a lot of families are very busy, they don't see their email, so I just text you this information, and then you just let me know if you want to have your child be enrolled. So these are really nice little flyers, very colorful. We try to make them as nice as we can. So that's another thing. And email in general, just if we have a volunteer that's interested in teaching your child, then we'll send you a text or an email directly to you and letting you know that we have someone that's interested, and then we get your availability, and then we try to work that with the volunteer. So we're the middle people, we're the middle communicator with you and the volunteer. So just so you know, a little bit of our Couture staff. There's more staff in our office, but I think the main people that you should know for now is the programs team. So one of them is our executive director, Greg. So you should always know who our executive director is. Our program director, which is Air, or Arion, we call him Air. He's the national program director, so he's not only a director here in LA, but also in the Bay Area. I'm one of the program managers. I also do some work in the Bay Area, so in the Oakland office. I'm also part of that team. And then we have Emily and Eric, who are also program managers here. And the three of us have our different regions. So depending on your zip code or the area that you live in, we go ahead and we connect you with, or I connect you with your program manager, and then they'll be the ones that are in charge of your family. And if they have any type of programs for you, then they'll let you know. Unless if I'm recruiting for a club, let's say for a group lesson, then you might hear from me. You might hear from everyone, but mainly your contact person will be either me, Emily, or Eric. So you'll have one program manager that you can communicate with at all times, but sometimes you'll hear from all of us. And we'll let you know who it is, or I'll let you know who it is after you've seen this video. And then our coaching manager is Colton. He's the one that's in charge of the volunteers, and he oversees all the things that they do. And then he makes sure that the volunteers also have what they need from us. That way, they're happy and they just want to keep volunteering. So now, Couture expectations. So one thing that you should expect from us, it's I always have a hard time with this word, confidentiality. So basically, we would not disclose any information of your patient's diagnosis. So I would not give out the patient's diagnosis. The volunteer should never ask, but you may disclose. So you may want to let them know if you want, if that's up to you, if you feel comfortable. The only thing that we do let the volunteers know of any kind of limitation that they need to know, just because of either the activity, or either if they need to do a lesson plan around the limitation. So that's one thing that we do give them. We do give them the limitations, but we never give the diagnosis unless you give us permission, or unless you want to personally tell them. So that's one thing that you should know. The media consent, obviously, if you don't give us consent, we take a lot of pictures for Instagram and Facebook. And so if you don't give us consent, then we won't use it. But we always have to ask if it's okay for me to upload the picture on Instagram or on Facebook or anywhere in our media, or like our website or anything like that. And then expect a lot of phone calls and emails. Like I said, we're always constantly doing a lot of things, and so we're always sending emails, we're always sending texts, we're always calling, we're all doing one thing, and they may overlap. So like all the program managers may be working on one event or club or something, and even the newsletter. So expect those emails to come through, and I think that's better than getting no communication, just because at least you know that we want you to participate, we want you to be involved. And I mean, like I said, depending on where you live and the interests of your child, sometimes it can be difficult to match you into something, like whether it's a club or an in-home lesson. So just be patient with us, because we're trying our best to get you someone, or getting your child involved with us. And so what we expect from you, a lot of communication. I mean, this also relates to attendance. So if you sign up for one of our programs, I know some of the families see a lot of things that are coming up, and you sign up your child for every single thing, but then you're not consistent with attendance. I think that's one thing you should let us know if you're not coming to one of our classes, just because we do have volunteers who are giving their time and day to, help your children. And also, just be aware of your calendar, be aware of the times and days that you're signing up your children into these lessons, because we do want you to participate, but we want you to be consistent as well. And we understand that there's family emergencies or, health related things that come up. So we are very, very aware of that, but we just want you to communicate with us, because even though this program is free, we are devoting a lot of our time and effort and money to bring this to life for your children. So just be aware and just be respectful of just being committed and attendance and things like that, and just communicating with us. Like I mentioned before, the parent or guardian must be present in the activities that the students do. And share your story. We love to hear all the things that the kids are working on, all the wonderful things that our volunteers are doing with your children, all the wonderful things that your children are doing with our instructors, doing the clubs, doing the group lessons. Anything that you can share with us, please do. Just because we like to see, we like to see the work come into or come live to us, just because we're always in the back, we're always in the computer, so for the most part. And so we just want to see what's going on outside of the office and make sure that we're doing our job well. So please share your story. And with that, I also wanted to tell you about what I think it's a Coachart family. So it's not only just the family, just the student and his or her family. It's also the staff, also everyone that's involved in Coachart. I think that we do create this one big family. So as you can see, everyone from the staff has participated or instructed a lesson for the kids. I've done cartooning club, I've done volleyball club, I've done soccer club. So I'm also very involved in the programs aspect of it. So Eric has done dance club, he does paint night club, Emily has done yoga, knitting, she's done also like running club. So we're all very involved with our Coach Art families, and we just wanna, or I just wanted to let you know that it's not just you guys, it's now you're part of this family that cares and wants your children to succeed. And so what's next? You will be receiving the latest newsletter that just went out last week, and a welcome email from me or from your coordinator. I still have to delegate that. And then you will be contacted by your coordinator or your manager within a week or two, or even sooner, with possible opportunities. And then you get started. So now I know a lot of the questions, or one of the questions that people or parents ask me is, if a student is doing, let's say, a club, are they also able to do an in-home lesson at the same time? My answer is yes, you may do multiple things, but unless, let's say, there's a really popular activity and we have a wait list, or we have a lot of signups, we will give priority to those who have not been doing anything with us. And so that means that if your child is doing, if he's already or she's already doing something with us, they would not be prioritized. The priority will be to those children who are not currently being active with us. So, but if not, then you're more than welcome to do a club, an in-home lesson, a special event at the same time. I mean, that's happened with us before, so it's not something new. So just letting you know that you can do multiple things. And also another thing that came up right now is that for in-home lesson, so let's say you do your 8 weeks, and let's say your child and the volunteer just hit it off, they have great chemistry, they have, they just like to be around each other and they just want to continue, you're more than welcome to continue for another 8 weeks. So we've had volunteers and students be together for a couple of years. So that's not, surprising to us. Sometimes it's just, they just hit it off so well that they just want to keep going. And sometimes they change interest or they change activities, and the volunteers, some of the volunteers are willing to change the activity as well. But if not, you're more than welcome to change the volunteer or to do something else based on what your child wants to do. So if they were trying art, but now they want to do music, then you're more than welcome to, finish your 8 weeks with the first volunteer, and we can try to find you someone else. So that's not an issue as well. When it comes to clubs, I mean, it's like I said, it's seasonal as well, just like the program partners. So depending on what we're going to do next, we still have to find a location. So it's nothing like you can continue over and over again. You just have to or look out for what's going to come up next. So sometimes, it's something new. Sometimes they're just things that we've done in the past, but we just want to continue. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, just if you have any other questions, go ahead and email me. Since I'm emailing you this video, you can just reply to that email and ask any questions that you have. I will also attach a Google form, just like a little quiz, just to make sure that you actually saw this this training or this orientation. I'm sorry, so it's an orientation, not a training. So yeah, so I'll be sending you the link to the form. All you have to do is click the form, and I'll see who has filled it out. And so once you filled it out, I will send you the welcome email with the name of the coordinator and the latest newsletter. So yeah, that's about it. And like I said, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask after you've seen this video. and then we can go from there. Okay, thank you so much for watching me, my little face right here in the corner with these really stylish headphones. But I hope you learned a lot from what we do, and I hope that we get something quickly for your children and something comes up for your children to do. So yeah, thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.